Welcome to Obstacle Running Adventures.
Over the last 7 years, we have consistently released weekly episodes focusing on
obstacle course racing, running, and other adventures.
You'll hear interviews, event recaps, conversations about our sport,
quick news updates about happenings in our community.
And now, here are your hosts,
Standing on the corner,
Michael Stefano and Caitlin Ritter.
Hey guys, it's Michael Stefano.
And Caitlin Ritter. And Michael, how was your weekend?
Pretty good. I had the longest race of the year so far. I did the Fit Challenge. I know I have to, you're looking at the medals, I have to change them over. I did the Fit, I always forget this one, the Fit Rock multi-lap. It's 5 mile loops. I have a 5K option as well. But I only did 2 loops because I wanted to go get lunch with Angela and Jimmy, who came down from New Hampshire and Maine. So I had the goal of getting 3 laps. I'm still kind of disappointed that I didn't go and do the 3 laps, but I didn't want them waiting an extra hour. And so because of that, I went out pretty fast for the first lap. But I held on. I got both laps. Oh God, did I fall just now?
I don't know.
I'll have to check the... Okay.
But I don't want it to rip your poster from 2018.
Fantastic. Hold on, let me fix that. Do you want to say what it is?
Michael's Boston Marathon ruck plaque is falling off the wall.
Damn. Okay. All right. That's fine. I'm glad you noticed that. That would have been bad if it ruined that.
And it was crushing his North American OCR Championship poster from 2018.
Yeah, what if that was going on in the background during the interview? I'm not too sure. But yeah, and I just didn't reach the goal, which is a bummer, so I'm going to have to make up that mileage somewhere else and find some events. Although I did find a 20 and a 30 mile event that I might do with Tanya and Scott Sweeney, so we'll see.
What about me?
Yeah, you're invited too.
You don't make me feel very included in things sometimes.
Let's give a shout out to our sponsors.
Shout out Mudgear, use code ADVENTURE for 15% off your next Mudgear purchase, and Caterpie. Use code OCR20 for 20% off your next Caterpie purchase.
No, I think it's OCR Report 20.
OCR Report 20 for 20% off your next Caterpie purchase.
And let's shout out the $5 plus supporters.
Jason Dupree, Samantha Thompson, Dave Claxton, Bradley Keel, Charlotte Engelman, Aaron Grindstaff, Kenny West, Cheryl Miller, Jessica Johnson, Nick Riker, Christopher Hoover, Kevin Gregory Jr., Evan Irick, Brent George, Logan Nagel, Asa Connington, and Seth Rinderknich.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for the support. You could also support us over on Patreon for as little as $2.
Or as many as $10.
Yeah, fun behind-the-scenes perks there. And shout out to the OCR Report for being a great home for our show on the internet.
And to Will Hicks.
The Podfather. Check it out over at theocrreport.com. In the group text, we're still giggling about the cock race, which you'll hear more about that in quick news. It's a COCK race. Also, Jason was just in Mexico for their series race. And he tried tripe. He said it wasn't that great, but he liked the soup that it was in. And shout out to our sponsored athletes.
Javier Escobar, Kelly Sullivan, Ryan Brizolara, and Joshua Reed.
All right, let's get to some poll results. Not the pizza. The pizza was last week. Oh, yeah, I did do a poll. So on our memories, whatever it's called, in our archive, when it pops up, it showed a post from episode 114, which was a really good episode if you want to go back and listen to that randomly, on Greek Peak. And I posted, did you ever run Greek Peak? 63% of people said yeah, 5% of people said no, 21% of people said no, but I wanted to, and 11 people said, what's Greek Peak? And...
11%, not 11 people.
Yes, sorry, I was distracted. One of them is not from the United States, that's totally fair. The other one, Carl, I'm surprised you haven't heard of Greek Peak. Sorry, I didn't mean to call him out. We're also going to do Meme of the Week. I found it, which means Caitlin has to describe it. This comes to us from CJ.
Oh.
Yeah.
It is a man and then a man in shape. Not really, I guess a statue? What's that second thing?
Just a strong person.
Okay, and the young guy, not as strong, says, that leg day was so easy, I probably won't even get sore, and leg day is leaving. And then the next panel has the same guy saying, maybe I should hit leg days again tomorrow. And then day 1 of soreness, it's the strong guy with the bat, like, standing over the smaller guy.
Behind him.
Yes. And then the next picture is an even bigger guy.
Much bigger.
That says day 2 soreness, and he's got 4 arms and a bat with, like, nails sticking out of it. And What is that mask?
I don't know, scary mask. But yes, day 2 is much, much, much worse. We're going to get to some quick news. Oh boy, it's not going to be quick this week. We got a lot. We're going to do rapid fire for the first ones. If you listen to us via Google Podcasts, please change to a different podcast app. They are going away. We don't want to lose you as a listener. The 2024 New England OCR Expo on April 20th is in West Boylston, Massachusetts. We're holding a Deca Strong, a 100-meter obstacle course, all sorts of fun stuff. We hope to see you there. Also, we registered for our first Deca Mile at Underdog Fitness on April 7th. So go and check those out, and hopefully we'll see you in some of those places. Our first news story was something that I planned to mention last week, but unfortunately I didn't get to it in my notes because my notes are all over the place. But unfortunate news about Jessica Johnson. Caitlin?
Jessica Johnson posted, "All right, kids, time for a long story longer. And this is a trigger warning with surgery, cancer, and chemo."
Oh, that's what TW means?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then she said, "For those wanting the Cliff Notes, I am starting chemo today for stage 2, grade 1 ovarian cancer." And she says, "Now for the details. At the end of January, I went to the emergency room with pretty severe abdominal pain. I was thinking worst case scenario is appendicitis. That is not the worst case."
Yep. So much, much more information for all of these links down below. Go and check those out. But yeah, fingers crossed and sending good thoughts to Jessica Johnson. Also, if you have like similar issues, go see a doctor. Go see a doctor. We don't want, luckily she caught this stage 2. It could have been stage 3. But yeah, we're definitely thinking of her.
And she's very optimistic and positive about the whole thing.
Good. Next up, we have a news story about Camilla Massa.
Camilla Massa has officially joined the ranks of Reebok Europe athletes.
Yeah, congratulations for that sponsorship deal. All right, for this next one, the King of Chemo, who's someone that I should reach out to and have him on the show. He said he's putting everything that he has in his life to achieving this world record. He prefers lifting weights and jiu-jitsu to running. I don't like the fame. I just jumped in my OCR memorabilia box again. But he's taking on 7 marathons, 7 days in the 7 continents. But he has very severe cancer, and I believe he has 1 to 2 years left. But he's continuing to do amazing fundraisers and all this great stuff. Crazy challenges.
Spartan China announces Marvel series of 8 Marvel-themed weekends. So it looks like it's going to be Avengers, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Black Panther, Hulk, and...
Captain Marvel, looks like?
Captain Marvel. That's awesome.
Yeah. The OCR report also posted some information on how to qualify for the Spartan Ultra World Championships. It's a lot of information, so we'll link that down below. They also released that the Mexican National Series will be streamed, or has been streamed, in both English and Spanish. The first race was this weekend, but what did they post about that?
A first in OCR history. Watch your race live stream in your choice of English or Spanish.
Yeah, very cool.
That is cool.
And shout out to the Spanish-speaking people who helped out with that. I didn't watch the live stream, so I don't know who you are, but appreciate it.
Octavo Martinez and Raul Guarneros.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
OCR gives back to serve as the official charity partner of the 2024 OCR WCs.
Yeah, so I think they've been the charity sponsor forever. But just announced that hasn't changed due to Spartan's acquisition, so happy to see that. Actually, shout out to the OCRWC podcast where Fran just had Steve McCollum on there to talk about it as well. I think I'm almost done with that episode.
VJ Shoes posted, "Do you have what it takes to be a VJ ambassador? Trail runners and racers, mountain runners, sky racers, hikers, obstacle course athletes, and any other outdoor adventurists. We welcome all level of athletes and outdoors enthusiasts to apply. We want to be the best badass VJ fans who will represent the brand. Tag and share with people who you think would be interested."
Nice. Henry Ward posted, "Yikes, this shit's getting real. 30 days until the 2024 Boston Marathon Quad. It will start Sunday, April 20th, from the marathon finish line back to the start in Hopkinton, run to the finish line, then back to the start, and then run the course again. Run the official course. That is 105 miles, 4 consecutive Boston marathons. I chose to use this platform to help fight addiction. Here's a little more about me." Henry Ward is a badass, so good luck to him doing this amazing challenge yet again.
That's insane.
We have baby news stories. Baby news story comes to us from Erin Grindstaff. She said, "Travis, DJ, and I are excited to finally introduce the newest member of the Grindstaff family." It feels like just the other day when she posted about the first baby, so this feels weird to me, but Guinevere Mary Grindstaff, born Enqual?
Do you know what that means?
No, but she put like a laughing emoji.
it means that the baby was born, and I'm not a nurse, this is what I found out on Google, was born in its, like, bubble thing. Embryo? Not embryo.
Placenta?
Yes.
Oh, inside of it?
Well, I don't know if it's inside, but the placenta was not ruptured. Apparently it's very rare. It happens like 1 in a million births.
Oh, okay. And she is a birth labor and delivery nurse? Nailed it. Okay. On 10th of March, 2024 at 11:01 p.m., weighing 7 pounds, 4 ounces, 19.5 inches long. Winnie the Pooh said it best. As soon as I saw you, I knew a grand adventure was about to happen. And we cannot wait to start a new adventure with our little Winnie. So yeah, congratulations to them. Jared Newby continues to crush every event he can with a rucksack. Noob Sanity posted, our fearless leader, Jared Newby, won the civilian heavy division at the Bataan Memorial Death March Marathon today with a time of 3 hours, 24 minutes, and 51 seconds, with his ruck weighing in at 38.5 pounds. He broke the previous course record for his division, because of course he did, was the first ruck finisher, and came third overall out of 5,000 plus total participants, which includes non-ruck runners. Are we surprised? No. Are we damn proud? You know it. Jesus Christ, what can't you do? It's amazing. We got a whole bunch of podiums.
Houston Super Spartan race for the men's overall. In third place, Shane Terry. In second place, Kyle Sears. And in first place, Paul Massey. And for the women, in third place, Sheridan Santiga. In second place, Tyler Phoebus. And in first place, Vivian Tran.
And next up, we have the Brotherton Cock Race, which is, of course, stands for Craziest Obstacle Course Killer. In third place for the ladies, Karen Renwick. Second place was Chloe Mokinian, and first place was Faye Morgan. And for the men in third place, Matthew Petro. Second place was Tom Hall, and first place is Zach Brenner. And now we have Endure the Dirt podiums.
For men's competitive, in third place, we have Sam Peterson. In second place, Morgan Berg. And in first place, Chancellor Jackson. For the women, in third place, Jill Childers. In second place, Julie Gardner. And in first place, Lauren Leopard.
For the Spartan Atlanta Beasts, in third place for the men, Mike Strobel. In second place, Chandler Ramirez. And in first place, Brian Beal II. For the ladies, third place was Chris Swafford. Second place was Hannah Franciosa, who we just had on the show. And first place was Cassandra Gill, who we also recently just had on the show.
And for the Las Vegas Super, for third place for men, Vitaly Urimev. In second place, Kevin Aller. And in first place, Johanny Mendoza. And for the women, in third place, Rebecca Sierra. In second place, Caitlin Frump. And in first place, Chloe Milkillian.
And for the sprint in Las Vegas, in third place was Eddie Sanchez. Second place, Vitaly Urimev. And in first place, Giovanni Mendoza. And for the ladies, in third place, Rebecca Sarah. Second place, Caitlin Frump. And in first place, Chloe Milkinian. And there's 5 secret links down below. Go and check those out. But let's finally get to what this episode's all about. So the OCR report posted how there was a man who completed 200 Spartan races at the age of 82. This man is Paul Lachance. So we reached out to him to hear more about him. We discussed his favorite and least favorite Spartan venues, thoughts on Spartan changes over the years, injuries, surgeries, and diagnosi he's overcome, and so much more. So let's hear from Paul. So we'll start off with your name and where you're from.
Well, I am Paul Lachance, and I live in Grand Junction, Colorado.
Awesome. So I guess it's a good place to start. How and when did you find obstacle course racing?
Let's see, it would be probably 2013, and I had a quintuple bypass.
Wow.
I was doing rehab and, typical bicycle, treadmill, and so on. I got through that phase, and I started lifting weights with a trainer, and I was getting bored. That's okay, but I was bored. And so I started looking around the internet for something, and I came across this thing called Spartan. And at that time, they showed an A-frame and a couple of people crawling underneath the wire in nice grass where it was nice and soft, nice and cool. And I said, heck, I can do that. So I knew I had no problems with the A-frame. That's nothing but a ladder. And then I saw it was only 18 inches high for the barbed wire. And at least that's what it was back then. And so what I did is I put some 2x6s together and 18 inches high, and I had some extra barbed wire from the house. And so I stapled it underneath that 2x6 bridge. I crawled underneath that. I said, piece of cake. So in 2013, I enlisted my son, another college professor, and a friend. And we went to Fort Carson and did the Beast, the very first, not the Beast, excuse me, the Sprint.
Yeah.
And that was our very, very first Spartan race.
That's awesome. And how old were you at the time?
Oh, God. 2013. I was 73, yes.
So right off the bat, you didn't see age as a factor for this. I like that.
No, I said I was I had a quintuple bypass. I consider myself in excellent health. I had the heart issue. That was fixed. Okay. I've had cancer. I've had chemo, radiation, but that's been fixed. I'm cancer-free, with exception for skin cancer, which is everybody gets that. So otherwise, I am perfectly healthy. I'm an 82, almost 83-year-old guy right now. My knees are in great shape. I don't have any arthritis in my body at all. Mentally, I'm still good. I'm working 50, 60 hours a week when I'm not racing.
Wow.
So I consider myself in excellent shape.
That's great. What do you think? What kind of decisions in your life do you think led you? Do you think it's genetics or just decisions you've made in your life to lead you to a place right now that you're able to do so many things?
I think it's been my calling. In the 7th grade, I met what I call my best friend, and him and I ice skated, we hunted, we fished together, but he was always one step ahead of me. He was always better than I was. No matter what we did, he was number one. I came in number two. And this was something that drove me. I'm saying, I can do this. I knew I could do this. So let me train for it. Let me get some expertise in it. And right now, I'm going to say 90% of all the obstacles. Being number one, because he doesn't do it. Okay. And now, unfortunately, he passed away a couple of years ago. So I am number one now. So that's self-motivation. That's ego right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's some good motivation there, though. That's great.
Yeah.
I also saw that you served in the military too. It seems like a lot of your family has served in the military. Did you find that to also be a calling for you?
I think so. I was Navy. My brother was Army. My son was Air Force.
Oh, wow.
I have a grandson who's still in the Air Force. I have one who's already in and out, and my granddaughter finally joined the Navy. So yeah, well, we are a military family. So
do you guys like tease each other over the different branches? I always hear there's like a fun rivalry between all of them.
I kid my grandsons and my son. My brother and I have a very close relationship, and with all due respect to him, he's not the type that joke around and something like that. He's more serious. He takes everything very serious in his life. But the rest of us, we give each other a hard time.
Gotcha. So I looked and saw your Instagram, and I saw that your first post talked about how you had, what was it? Said that you got 8 at 80. So that was like your first post. And I saw you had like the shirt that had like Boost Oxygen and American Warrior Initiative. So tell me tell me about those two groups.
Boost Oxygen was actually my very, very first sponsor. And living in Grand Junction, just to the east of us is the Grand Mesa. And it's the world's largest flat top mountain. Okay. It rises up to 11,000 feet. And then it's perfectly flat, 160 square miles of almost flat. Wow. It's an old volcano that blew its top. And there's a trail up there that I like to hike. It's very, very scenic. And I was telling a friend of mine at the gym, I said, boy, I get exhausted up there. And he's a pilot. And he says, here, why don't you try some of this? And he showed it to me in an ad, and it was Boost Oxygen. So I said, well, it's not going to hurt. It's nothing but oxygen. So what I did is I ordered a couple of cans. Then just to test, I went back to the very same trail up on the mountain and used it. Say, hey, that's pretty good, because I have bad lungs because my parents smoked all the time.
Same.
So, but that helped with cleaning the lungs out and help. So that's where Boost comes in. They were my very first, not a significant sponsor, but a sponsor, but was no matter what.
Yeah.
And then I got introduced. A friend of mine introduced me to American Warrior, and this is through Fairway Mortgage, which is a national mortgage company, and they are the primary sponsor of American Warrior. And this group raises funds to provide service dogs to wounded vets. And they started out with a small sponsorship. And okay, that's nice. And so we got the T-shirts going, and some of my Spartan friends got involved, and they bought the T-shirts. I presented a check to American Warrior, and they turned around and gave me basically a pass and said, go for it. And so now they are my primary sponsor. They pay for travel, lodging, a rental car. So, yeah.
That's fantastic. It's one thing to see value in yourself and in the motivation. It's another thing to have to, feel that other companies have value in you. So how does it feel to have those two sponsorships?
Oh, it feels phenomenal. I couldn't do this without it. I mean, it's so expensive to travel, and I definitely could not do it without them.
Yeah.
And since then, I've picked up a couple of other small sponsors, primarily to cover the cost of the T-shirts, because I just mailed out my first shipment of this year, and it was a little over $300 just for mailing of the shirts all around the country. There's about 200 of them out there right now, and there'll probably be about 400, 450 by the end of the year. So
that's really cool. And more recently, the OSHA report took notice of that you completed 200 Spartans at the age of 83. How does it feel to have done so many of these events?
Fantastic. I didn't realize I could do that. I had never in my life thought I would do that, even when I was, even last year, the year before. But just to go back a little bit, that 8 at 80 we talked about.
Yeah.
That was something all of a sudden that just popped up. Well, wait a minute. I can do 8 trifectas and I'll be age 80. And the guy who designs my T-shirt, he said, hey, let's do he designed them. And he said, let's really push this 8 at 80. And so when we went to Dallas, that was the 8th trifecta that year. And so we had a group that was phenomenal. I mean, everybody had their 8 at 80 shirt, and it was just fun. And I wound up doing 10 trifectas that year. Jeez. So, and that's the most I've ever done. So, and that's the most probably I will ever do. So
that is a lot. With doing all these events, what are your favorite venues, least favorite venues? Like, what are ones that stick out to you?
The least favorite is my very first is Fort Carson.
Okay.
And that for me is a tough venue. There's a lot of steep, short hills, and hills really get to me, going up hills. I mean, I just get winded so quickly. And so going up and down those hills, just constant up and down, and the heat. Fort Carson is always in June. And it's always hot. It's out there in the desert. And so that's my least favorite. I will have to say that Lake Paris this year, SoCal, turned out to be a pretty darn good venue for me. I mean, it was It was cool. It was relatively flat. The dunk wall was in the lake, which was just perfect. I mean, it was beautiful, nice clean water. And so, we've had some dunk walls that have just been outstanding and dirty and nasty. So, anyhow, but my favorite of all times, though, is NAS Jacksonville. So I do like the Jacksonville. I was stationed there when I was in the Navy. And it's like there's a lot of Navy guys that come out and do it there. There are Navy bases all over Jacksonville. Now, I think there's at least 3 right there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's fun to run with the guys. So
you said that you were able to complete most of the obstacles. What are some of your favorites to see on a course?
Well, the spear throw is definitely my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have probably a 95% success rate on that. Yeah. Well, I did buy a target for home. I made 2 spears myself, measured it out 30 yards, and just let them fly. And I actually have a string on the back of mine too, so I can pull them back.
Yeah.
But yeah. And the reason I say spear throw is we have video someplace. I know I can find it, but I have video of me throwing the spear and hitting the target blindfolded. Blindfolded.
That's awesome.
So there's another character, Tom Manning. You probably have seen the name.
Sounds familiar.
He's the guy who likes to eat a lot. But he filmed me for doing that. The other favorite one is probably the slip wall.
Yes.
Yeah. I struggled with that one at first because I did not know how to walk up that wall. But once I got the hint there, yeah, okay, that's easy. Except when there's a whole bunch of people in front of us that have gotten it all muddy and everything else. There were quite a few times I'll just bypass because there's no need to go up there and at my age and get hurt. So
totally fair.
That was my wife's number one priority. I don't get hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. What does your wife think about all this?
Well, she loves it. She's 100% behind me. She's been to several of them. She won't do them herself, but she's 100% supportive. Yes. Yeah. I couldn't do it without her.
Yeah. So. And what about like the rest of your family too? Do they think that you're crazy for doing all this stuff?
No, my son does them once in a while with me. He got hurt pretty bad in the Air Force, so it's kind of tough on him. But he will do Fort Carson because he lives just north of there and outside of Colorado Springs. So he will do that with me.
Great.
But otherwise, he doesn't do it. And I've had a grandson, the one who was in the Air Force. He's been with me a couple of times. But not very many. And but as far as the kids at home, the grandkids at home, they just think I'm crazy. Crazy good.
Yeah.
They call me the Beast, and I just, hey, let's have fun. So
I'd say that nickname is accurate. Going back to obstacles, what are the ones that you said that you have trouble with the most? I know for myself, I always struggle with Olympus. I know that's one up there for me.
Well, I'm going to show you. I don't know if you can see that left hand.
Yes.
There's a thumb missing.
Yes, there is.
And I got caught in a wood chipper back in 1983. Oh. And caught between the belt and a pulley. And it folded my left arm in half. From my wrist was at my elbow when it came out of the machine. So if you just put your hand on your forearm and think of right there, it's been cracked in half and just folded backwards.
Yeah.
And anyhow, so I lost all muscle in the left forearm. So I can't hang. So anything that's hanging, I can't do. So you can't swing with one arm.
Right.
So my left hand and arm are for balance purposes. The Atlas ball, I let somebody else pick them up, for me. If I can get it up to my chest, then I can carry it, no problems. But I have to have somebody else pick it up because I don't have the strength with one arm to pick it up.
Yeah.
So, but otherwise, handing is the number one thing. And I haven't figured out how to climb a rope yet with just one hand, basically, because my left hand is not very functional. So, but I know it can be done because there's an Army vet, Jonathan Lopez, who lost his arm in the war, and he climbs that rope just like it was laying on the ground flat.
Oh, wow.
I mean, one hand. Yeah. And he's only got a rucksack with him. So I know it can be done. I just haven't mastered that yet.
Yeah.
I keep practicing.
That's great. And so now that you're kind of in the whole, pushing for more and more Spartans, you said that there's an additional goal that you have in the horizon too now, right?
Well, I was hoping to get to 250 this year, believe it or not. And it's on my schedule, but Jacksonville got wiped out this year because I had a funeral to go to. I couldn't go for that weekend. So there's 3 races gone. And then this past weekend, I was supposed to be down here on Friday, down here in Las Vegas. And Las Vegas airport shut down, because of the storms and wind and everything. And so I didn't get here until yesterday around noon. So the Super was gone. So I'm already four races in the hole, and it's only March. So what's going to happen for the rest of the year? So I'm going to push as hard as I can, though. I have Charlotte coming up, which is a relatively easy race, and then Palm Beach, which is sprints. So I should be able to get 5 or 6 sprints in that weekend. 3 a day. So
that's crazy. It's one thing for people to think like, oh wow, you took on this sprint, but like to do it 3 times in a day, that is impressive.
Well, see, I only did 2 today. I wanted to do a third, but my body's I just had surgery in my oral surgery on Wednesday, and I don't think I'm quite over it. And so my body was just shutting down at the end of the second sprint this morning. So I said, no, I'll just go back to the motel and rest.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to know your body, definitely too. And something else in doing all these events and all the places that you've gone is all the lives that you've touched. So, I mean, there were countless likes on the Instagram post, but over 100 comments. I read through some of them. Some that stood out to me was Chris Etherington said, I remember back in 2018 in Florida when he gave my wife and I a Band-Aid in the middle of the event. Someone by the name of Edward says, nothing but respect for this man every time I run into him. Someone else tagged a friend and said, remember this man? We took a picture with him. He's a beast for sure. How does it feel to see like all these people like out on course? It's
good. I mean, knowing that I am touching so many lives is a really big motivation for me to stay there, to keep doing the Spartan races. I just love it when people go by me and they say, oh, you're that guy, oh, you're that guy. Because my name is on my shirt, and no big deal. And oh, you're that guy. And I have Tom. I was telling me earlier, Tom Manning. I consider him my PR guy almost. But we'll get up on top of the A-frame or the vertical cargo or even the slip wall, and he'll yell out, "He's only 82 years old. He's only 80 years old. Blah 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 blah." So. He's my mouthpiece.
Yeah, he's a hype man. He's a hype man. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Now, if he can only hype a really good corporate sponsor, I would really be happy.
Fair.
Yeah, I'd like to quit work one of these days.
Yeah. What do you do for work?
I'm a real estate appraiser.
Okay.
So, actually. That helps. That's a training job for me because one of the things is I have to measure the outside of the house. And so a lot of people use an electronic measuring device. I use the old fashioned, hook a tape up and walk around, keep walking back and forth and up and down retaining walls, and which was perfect for today because there's some nice rock walls here in Las Vegas that we have to go up and down, and at my age, I'm getting a little unsteady, so I have to be careful going up and down. And but using retaining walls at people's homes as training. I say, why not? So
Yeah, that's fantastic. And so going back to the shirts and stuff, you mentioned that you're selling them. Tell me about how like the money goes to the charity and everything. How can people find out more about getting one of these shirts? I want one as well now.
we'll get you one. What I do is I use Facebook. Facebook is my number one social media. And in early December, I put out a call for pre-orders for the 2024 shirt. And I have a significant group that will buy them. So they send in and they tell me what color, what size, and the mailing address. I have a red, blue, green, trifecta colors.
Nice.
And last year we included purple for the ultra.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a red and blue tank top.
Nice.
Some of the girls wanted tank tops. Actually, a couple of guys wanted tank tops. I'm not a tank top guy, so I can't speak to that. but anyhow, I got the orders in, and then I sent them all to my shirt designer, and he's also the guy who coordinates with the printing. So he has this printer up in New York State, gets them all printed, and I got them all here about 3 weeks ago.
Nice.
And the people who wanted them personalized, because I can have their last name printed on the back with a local printer in Grand Junction. So the people who want to have them printed like that, I charge an extra $10 for that.
Nice.
And so it's $30 for a shirt, $40 if it's personalized, which is better than the Spartan cost. I mean, the Spartan shirts, $45, $50, $60.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyhow, that $30 on sale. But anyhow, so they all. I had all these orders, these pre-orders, and shirts came in. The ones that were not personalized, I just mailed them right out. And it was just this past week that I got all the personalized ones in, and I brought a couple here to Vegas. I didn't meet up with the people who had ordered them. I don't know if they showed up or not. I didn't see them. But as of tomorrow, they'll be all mailed out. And so everybody will get them. So now I'm starting to get my second order batch in, because even today I got 2 orders. 2 different people said, "Hey, I want one of your shirts," and so you're the third. So yeah, so here it is, 3 days, 3 in a day. So this will happen whenever I'm out on the course. So the more I'm out on the course, the more I see it.
Yeah.
And what happens is I get the funds. We have the people who pay for the shipping, the personalization, and I'm keeping tabs, computer tally of everything. And then at the end of the year, I give a check to American Warrior. Last year, we gave a check out for $3,500.
Nice.
And that's not bad for just a simple old man for T-shirts. And that's pure profit. So this year, what I'm looking for is somebody who would pay for the shirts. It cost me almost $2,000 for the shirts, so I have to make that up.
Right.
So I'm looking for a sponsor who is willing to have their name on the back to pay for the shirts. So
Smart. Yeah. And we talked about Spartan a lot. Have you done any other obstacle course races? I'm trying to think of what else is in the area.
only the very first year I did. What was that? Rugged Maniac, and there was another franchise.
And Warrior Dash, that's no longer with us.
Warrior Dash. I did a couple of during COVID. We did Savage. We were doing Savage races a little bit because they were not quite as woke as Spartan was during COVID.
Right.
So I went to Florida and did a bunch of Savage races. So
yeah. What did you think about those courses and those obstacles?
Oh, they were fun.
Yeah.
They're not hard. Unfortunately, they have a lot of hanging, though. They have more hanging obstacles than Spartan does.
Yeah. That's good.
So,
Yeah, I do love Savage too.
yeah, I would rather have the heavy weights, carry something, or pull the Herc hoist. I can do that. I put a pair of gloves on, grab them, home down.
Yeah.
The sled, pulling that metal plate, no big deal. Although pulling it back sometimes hurts a little bit because I have to bend over so bad. And it's just have that chain. But hey, that's life.
Yeah.
So.
And then saying that, yeah, I remember you said you got your start in 2013. I got my start in 2012. Do you remember the tractor pull too? It was like a chain and like a cinder block on it too. That was like
that was there in Fort Carson. Yes, we had to pull it uphill.
Yep. Trying to think of what else was back. There was like I remember there was a log. Like there was like a log hop obstacle. There was like the gladiators. There was a lot of interesting. The memory test.
Oh yeah, that was awful. I mean that was within the first couple of months. I think they knew that was a mistake because everybody was bringing a Sharpie with them.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what's my code? Okay. Put it underneath my sleeve. Put it in the hat. Well,
Absolutely. We definitely made some friends at the memory test obstacle. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorites was the log carry. We had logs with chains on them, and you had to carry two of them at a time and something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. So, see, now I can carry with my left hand because I use my fingers as a hook, but I can't hold like that. And to me, that doesn't make sense because I have this. Well, I have twice the weight if I'm holding. If I'm only picking up 100 pounds, that's one thing.
Fair.
The holding, even though I may use two hands, I can't do the swing with the left hand. So that's what gets me.
Yeah,
I can do on a ring. I can do about three rings, 1, 2, 3, and then it's gone.
That's still pretty good with with that kind of injury to your arm and everything too. Other than the obstacle changes, what has it been like seeing Spartan change over the years?
I don't know if it's good or bad. I think it's good that we're standardizing a lot of the obstacles. I know what's coming up. I know what's included in the sprint, what's in the super, what's in the beast, and so on and so forth. I like the significance of being able to become an expert in one, in that group.
Yeah.
I don't like, how can I say this? I think that they spend too much time on the elites.
Okay.
Spartan really pushes. I mean, you see all their videos, it's nothing but elites. The bread and butter is from the guys out in the open class.
Right.
The non-elites, the non-competitive ways. We are their bread and butter. And I don't think they pay enough attention to the normal people. You did. OCR report is, you are focusing in on a lot of, but as far as Spartan, he's got an elitist mentality, and I don't like that. So.
Joe in particular, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that as well. Yeah, that's definitely a fair criticism. Because it makes their money through the general people, the age group people. The elites are like just the fun cherry on top, like it's a fun like spectacle to watch. But I think we all realize like that's all they really are, which is fair. So I was just about to start wrapping up too, trying to find like where else can people follow you on social media? How can people reach out to you if they're also interested in shirts and everything?
Oh, Facebook is definitely number one. Instagram, Lachance.14, and that's primarily it. It's because, well, like I said at the very beginning, how we got this video going here. I am not technologically oriented. The age of technology came way after my learning curve was going downhill. I still call my granddaughter, hey, what do you do? How do you do this? How do I get Netflix? Okay, now I know how to get Netflix.
Nothing wrong with that. I help my grandparents with stuff like that all the time. I love it.
Yeah, well, I can see your setup behind you there and around you, so I think you've got a pretty good setup back there.
I try. I try. Actually,
Now,
like my grandfather's old computer and everything too. Yeah.
now I do have a 3 monitor setup at my home for work, but that's only because I want to report here. I've got a document over there. I've got something over here, and that's relatively easy to do. So
Yeah. And so it's still towards the beginning of the year. What else do you have planned? What's your schedule like for the rest of the year now? I know that's probably a lot, but
oh yeah, and if you look on my Facebook page, you'll find it. But I'm off for a couple of weeks. I'm going to go to Charlotte. From there will be Palm Beach, and then my wife and I are going to be on vacation for a while.
Nice.
Come back. I'm going to do Austin. I like the Texas venues, and got Montana, Utah, Colorado, and whatever else is out there coming up. So I have a total of 50 scheduled. But I don't think I've already missed out on 4 of them, like I said. So,
any plans for anything in the Northeast?
2 years ago, went up there in New Hampshire. We did New Hampshire.
Yep.
In Concord. Was it Concord?
Loudon, it might have been.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yep.
And I'm from there. I'm from New England.
Oh, okay.
But I was thinking of Barry, Massachusetts. I was thinking of that, but going back east, where I'm from, it's not pleasant anymore. It's not. Plus, it's too expensive, and it takes a lot of time to get there.
That's fair. Yeah, and the jet lag and everything too is close. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to minimize my expenses, because any expense that I have is a draw from American Warrior,
right?
So because they're reimbursing me, so I try to get a small car, or the least expensive. I try to get a mid-size motel. I don't want the Hilton, but I don't want a Motel 6 either.
Right.
Yeah. So I've had those. So right now I'm at the Best Western here in it's in Boulder City.
Okay.
So which is a very nice hotel. And so I'm sitting in the lobby here. So because I didn't want you to see my room, because I got to pack up to leave. And it's pretty nasty. I really don't know where else I'm. Naturally, I'll be doing Florida at the end of the year, in the swamp.
Yep.
The infamous swamp. Again, right off the top of my head, I can't think of October, December. So,
yeah. I'll link in the description too to your Facebook and Instagram too, so people can follow along that way too. But yeah, selfishly, I was interested to see if you'd be in the Northeast, because that's primarily where we race. I'm in Massachusetts, so I'll be doing all of Massachusetts, New York, and New Jersey. I'll be doing a lot of races there. But
so where are you located?
So I'm in Taunton, Massachusetts. I'm between Boston and Providence, so southern Massachusetts.
You know where Millville is?
Millville.
You know where Blackstone, Massachusetts is?
A little bit, yeah.
Woonsocket, Rhode Island?
Yep.
Okay, well, see, I was born in Woonsocket.
Okay.
Lived in Millville, which is just north of the Rhode Island, Massachusetts line, and just south, really close to Worcester and Uxbridge in that area.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Nice, yeah. I'm going to Worcester to set up we're doing a New England OCR Expo that we're holding really close to Worcester, so we're going there this weekend.
Oh, very good. Very good. Yeah, I try not to go back up there. Like, I missed Jacksonville, like I said, for a funeral, and that was in Providence. My brother-in-law passed away, so definitely had to go to that one. And so we flew into Hartford, and yeah.
Gotcha. And final question: anyone that you'd like to thank on your journey to do all these events?
Oh, absolutely. Thank my wife. She is absolutely the number one supporter that I have. And without her, I could not do this. We've been together now for 40 years, and she's just a blessing in my life. So, no, she's my rock star. So.
Love it. And I lied, one more question. What would you say to somebody else who might be listening to this and think, I'm too old to do a Spartan race, or I'm too blank to do a Spartan race?
What I would say is look down to the ground, and if you have 2 feet, we will take you on a Spartan race, because all you have to do is walk. I can't run anymore myself, so I'll walk it, and I'll say I'll walk with you. If you look at Monty Montgomery, you know Monty, you must know the name. 97 years old, and him and I are close friends, and we just walk together. And although he'll outrun me, there's no question about that. He guy can run, but he'll walk it. And I just say, you can do it. It's in your head. All it is trying to just get up there and one step at a time. And it doesn't matter how long it takes. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're not getting a podium. We're not going to win money. We're going to get the same banana. I was going to say the same fit aid, but we're not doing fit aid anymore. But we'll get the same rain, REIGN. So we'll get the same medal. Yeah. So why not have fun and we'll get to meet people? And I think that's one of the things I learned is I started interacting with people, and that's how I became friends. And I say, hi, how you doing? Where you from? Blah, blah. There's a whole new world of friends out there. And I consider Tom, as mentioned, another guy named Will Dabovich, he's from California. The 3 of us are pretty close friends. And I consider them family to the extent that I like to say, if I needed $100 right now, and I saw Tom, I'd say, Tom, can I borrow $100? He'd reach into his wallet and give it to me, and he will not ask for when I return it. And that's a friend. So, and that's the type of friend you can develop on this course.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful way to wrap up. Paul, you're a badass. I want to be you when I grow up. And
all the wrinkle, right? Hey, thank you very much, Mike. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Welcome back.
Thank you, Paul Lachance. I need to get you my info for a shirt, and we recommend that you support and do the same. For related episodes, I don't have anything too related to this, so I don't have anything I'd really recommend. But again, go check him out on Facebook and Instagram and see what awesome stuff he's doing now.
Subscribe and follow wherever you get your podcasts. We are Obstacle Running Adventures. And leave us a review on that purple podcast app. We would appreciate it. Follow us on social media. We are Obstacle Running Adventures on Instagram and the Facebook.
Yeah, you can also support us over on Patreon for as little as $2, as many as $10. Get all sorts of behind-the-scenes perks. Get your name right on the show. See fun videos of Caitlin butchering the Beatles and me butchering Taylor Swift lyrics.
One of us had fun, the other one did not.
Sometimes it turns into that. Coming up next, ooh, good question. Okay, next weekend is the only thing that I have blank for until May. So, not too sure. I have some ideas. We'll see who I reach out to. It could be something. No promises. I have no idea. It'll definitely be something.
I have a joke.
Okay.
My boss asks why I only get sick on work days.
Why?
I said it must be my weekend's immune system.
Nice.
Get it?
Yeah.
My quote is really long. I know your computer is dying, so.
That's okay. Do the quote. It's at 5%.
And on the really hard days when it takes everything inside yourself just to affirm that you're enough, remember what it took to get here. Remember the times when you didn't want to admit to anyone, but there was that small voice in your head that said, maybe this isn't worth it. Maybe I can't keep going. Maybe I'm not strong enough. And remember that you still found something inside yourself to make it through another day and another and another. And you've made it through every impossible day you've ever lived. And can't you see you're trying to convince yourself that you are enough when actually you're this incredible and fierce warrior? You're a powerhouse. The energy of the entire universe flows inside you. You're courageous and passionate and stunning and such a gift to everyone who has the honor of knowing you. Your kindness, your empathy, your light, your love, all of it is a big and grand and extraordinary and so much more than just enough. So please, when you're trying to convince yourself that you're enough, remember who you are. Remember the path you traveled. Remember the stubborn and resilient heart that beats inside of you. Remember still, you are so much more. That's from Zanana Keithley.
Nice. Well, that just about wraps it up. My name is Michael Stefano.
And my name's Caitlin Ritter.
And we'll talk to you next weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening.
If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe to our show and write us a review on your favorite podcast app.
You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook and connect with us there.
Most importantly, we would appreciate it if you shared an episode with a friend so we can reach more ears
and continue to effectively shine a light on the people in our sport, as well as the events that we are so passionate about.
Our intro song is Street Crew by Straight Up, and our outro music is Iron Call by The Best.
All right, I think you connected, but now you're muted, I think. Yeah, you're definitely muted. I think, I'm not sure if you can hear me again, but if you swipe up, if you're using your phone, more options should show up. If you're using your computer, then the bottom left should have the mute and start video button. Oh, I heard something. There you are.
Oh, hey, whatever happened? Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
You're
hallelujah.
Good. How you doing?
Sorry about that.
Not a problem.
Good. I am not technologically savvy, so that's why it was going on.
Totally fine. Awesome. We can get there. It was great meeting you. I was, as soon as I saw the OCR report post that, and we have like a group text when we all talk about it too. We were like someone needs to have him on the show. And I'm like, I want to have him on the show. So it was really great getting to know you, and I look forward to seeing what you do in the future.
Not going to cover this. Someone by the... No. Too much. We're going to scrap that one.
Oh man, I like the good old days where I would actually like zoom into the trash can.
Oh, yeah.
Are you sure you didn't pee in here?
Did I pee in there? I definitely didn't.
No, the cat. He looked like he was doing a little potty dancing.
I think he was just looking around.
He's so weird.
Very strange.
Why are you a weird cat?